Marrowfields from United States of America is a doom metal band that is relatively new. The album in question we have here today is actually their debut one, even though these guys are no newbies to the genre. To be honest, they all have, well, pretty much everyone at least, has more or less some doom metal experience prior to this one, but this one is still their new project or band, now out with Black Lion Records release. This one's called Metamorphoses, and the digipack version is right here for your convenience. A five-man band with some lyrics and obviously some nice packaging. Now this cover is a little bit curious. I'm not actually sure what it tries to what kind of message it tries to get through. Some birds, maybe the crow and the raven, which is sung about here, and then this creature standing in the middle of water. Might be a mythological reference, too much for me, but hey, that's for people to find out with lyrics, interviews and whatnot. Let's take a look at the band's Metal Archive site, which is right here. As you can see, this is pretty short, a discography with just demo out, and then this debut album, which is some 51 minutes with 5 tracks, all relatively long, well, 10 minutes or so, give or take. I actually added this digipack release here because it showed you only the independent digital version, so there it is mentioned as well. As it is, I'm actually recording this video about 9 days per the making, so probably there will be more information later on. If we take a look at the similar artist page, it's obviously quite empty because prior to having debut album out, not too many people know it. So if you just happen to like it and know other bands which are in your opinion similar, feel free to add them here to help out other people. Now if you take a look at the members list, you can see quite a few bands. I took a look at some of them, and quite a few of them are actually more or less some degree of doom metal bands, with a little bit of exceptions as well. So it's not like these guys are, like I said, newbies to the genre, but more like veterans of the style in one way or another. And here we have obviously with some links, Bandcamp, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. So social media is rather nicely covered, and already here on the band's Bandcamp site you can find cover art in bigger form, so you can just enjoy it. And obviously pre-order the digital album for quite decent price. It's not yet available, but at the time this goes out, probably all the songs are ready for your listening. And here you will find more information in case you're interested in the band itself. Now let's talk about the music. Like I said, it's doom metal, so its essence, it means quite slow-paced stuff. But what kind of slow-paced? Well, the first thing is what you notice is that the production is quite organic. That is, all this style of music is rather not too distorted as opposed to so many other metal styles in general. Also, the vocals are somewhat clean, not all the way clean like some doom metal bands prefer to do it, but a little bit kind of a raspy layer on it. It's like a little bit rusty also, so it's on the verge of being clean and dirty, kind of a compromise, if you will. Obviously, it's really cool for some, but I think for some people who are more expecting kind of a clean vocals, it might get a little bit time to get used to it. I think it's quite okay, but to be honest, a little bit diversity wouldn't harm, but it's not bad anyway. And when it comes to the sound, you know, the overall production, being it guitars or drums or whatever, I think it's pretty fitting for this kind of music, but it also kind of underlines the weaknesses of this album, which is, once again, the riffs. Now, there are some parts when this album feels really strong with its kind of a melancholic grasp. It is kind of filled with sorrow at some points, And that is obviously kind of a nice thing to hear when we're talking about atmospheric doom metal. But way too often, and this is also underlined by the length of these songs, way too often it feels like this album is going nowhere. When you're listening to a song 10 minutes long with mediocre riff one after another, you're like, maybe this should have been, cut like at 5 minutes mark or something in that direction, because now it feels like there is no kind of ongoing theme which just captures you with it and takes you on a journey, but more like this is not just going any place, this is just not happening really. Like some parts are really cool and the other parts not so much. And that being said, this is kind of a halfway through as a successful album in my opinion. And for Doom fanatics, I think this is kind of a must here. But those who are already not so much invested in new Doom metal, I think there are better albums and better bands to check out. But once again, it totally depends on what your listening preference. That being said, Marrowfields is doing quite a nice job, but there's still a lot of work in progress. And I think one of these things is either fix the length or add more capturing moments, better guitar leads, more impressive riffs, or whatever you have to do in order to make this something that stands out from the rest of the crew in terms of doom metal. Now, this all being said, obviously what you want to do is check out the band, so check out one of those links, maybe this Bandcamp, maybe Spotify, YouTube and whatnot, and just try to enjoy the music. It's pretty cool, but still a lot of things to do. Rauta, checking out, bye bye.